So now that we're married, I'm gonna share with you this joke I told at the Gotham Awards. David O. Russell, like I said, is one of my favorite directors, but infamously shouted at Lily Tomlin on the set of I Heart Huckabees many years ago. You might have seen it on YouTube because it was caught on tape, it was put on YouTube, it was seen by millions of people. If you haven't seen it, there is nothing I could do to properly convey just how extreme this rant was, other than typing out a transcript of what he said, printing it out, and just reading it to you. So they're on the set of this movie, and they're in this classroom area, and it's Dustin Hoffman and Lily Tomlin and Jason Schwartzman, and in between takes, David O. Russell comes out and he says to Lily Tomlin, and I quote, he says, "I'm just trying to fucking help you, you understand me? I'm just trying to be a fucking collaborator. I'm just trying to help you figure out the fucking picture, okay, bitch? I'm not here to be fucking yelled at. I've been working this thing for 3 fucking years to have some fucking cunt yell at me in front of the crew when I'm trying to help you, bitch." So I thought I should talk about that on stage because if comedy is tragedy plus time, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. So I said, David O. Russell's here. He's about where you are, about third row. I said, one of my favorite directors, known for going to extremes to get exactly what he wants. The great director Elia Kazan once said, "You do whatever it takes to get the shot." David O. Russell once said, "I'm just trying to fucking help you, you understand me? I'm just being a fucking collaborator. I'm just trying to help you figure out the fucking picture, okay, bitch? I'm not here to be fucking yelled at. I didn't work in this thing for 3 fucking years to have some fucking cunt yell at me in front of the crew when I'm trying to help you, bitch." Two great directors basically saying the same thing. The audience enjoyed it. And David O. Russell left. Which was unfortunate timing because he was just about to receive the Lifetime Achievement Award. The woman who booked me came over to my table and she said, "Mike, David is very upset about your joke and I think he might leave. Will you talk to him?" And I said, "Absolutely." Because worst case scenario, it goes terribly. Best case scenario, he makes me the lead in his next film. And so I'm walking with this woman. She says, "It's my fault. I never should have let you tell that joke. I should have screened your jokes." And I felt so bad because I wanted to be like, I never would have let you screen my jokes. I would have sent you decoy jokes. I would never hand someone a piece of paper with the word cunt written on it. I wasn't raised that way. Christ has died, Christ is risen. But instead I was like, yeah, maybe it's your fault, who knows? And then we get to the men's room and David O. Russell storms out to the exit. She follows him and I follow her. He looks back at her and goes, "Give your fucking award to someone else." And I was like, awesome. This is like we're in the video. I go back to my table, my wife says, "Mo, what's going on?" I said, "Chloe, it's a long story and it hasn't ended yet, but we're not in Massachusetts anymore." Sitting at our table was Jared Leto, but I didn't know it was him because he was preparing for his role in Dallas Buyers Club, and so he had shaved his eyebrows, and he hadn't eaten in weeks, and he leans over and he goes, "I haven't eaten in 21 days. And that joke made me laugh my ass off." I said, "Thank you, strange skeleton man. That means a lot to me, because I'm in a lot of trouble right now." Amy Adams gets on stage to present the award to David O. Russell, or not. She says, David is a wonderful collaborator, which is the exact language from the video, though she left out the C word, which I thought was smart. And then David O. Russell got on stage and he gave a really wonderful speech. He's got a lot of wisdom, and he sits down and the reporters say, David, what'd you think of Mike Birbiglia's joke? And he says, well, comedians are gonna make jokes about what they're gonna make jokes about. And they came over to me, they're like, Mike, what'd you think of David's reaction? I said, well, whatever he said is fine. And an article came out in Variety magazine that week about the event, and the opening line of the article read, and I quote, before any winners were announced at Monday's 22nd edition of the Gotham Awards, one thing became clear. Mike Birbiglia will not be in David O. Russell's next picture. I'm the joke later. And I think that's fair. Well, because if David O. Russell were here tonight, he would say, I was invited to that event to be honored by my peers. And then you, who I'd never heard of, got on stage and recited verbatim the most regrettable 3 minutes of my life, and everybody laughed. And I would say, excuse me, sir, there's a show going on. He'd be escorted out of the building. That's his side of the story. But I want you guys to know my side of the story, which is that I gave it a lot of thought before telling that joke. I ran it by comedian friends. I ran it by my brother Joe, who wrote Christ Will Come at 10. I ran it by my wife the night before. I said, Chloe, can I tell this joke when I know he'll be right there and it will not go well for him at all? And Chloe said, it depends on what you want from the night. If you want to be successful in show business, you probably shouldn't tell the joke. If you want to be true to yourself as a comedian, then tell the joke. And I told it because I love jokes. I really do. I love jokes. Jokes are meaningful to me. Tonight's show here with you guys is meaningful to me. And the Charlie Hebdo incident in France 2 years ago was meaningful to me, and to a lot of people. I mean, after that incident, I read about this peaceful rally in France with almost 4 million people, and it was leaders of Israel and Palestine, people of all religions, and they were gathered behind the idea that despite our differing jokes and opinions, that civility is ultimately what matters. And increasingly it matters more, because now you can transmit images and jokes and cartoons and videos across the earth in seconds. So people in Russia are our neighbors. People in China are our neighbors. People in Texas are our neighbors. Which to me is most worrisome. But it really does beg this question: what does it mean to be a decent neighbor? I think part of it is just listening to people in the context in which they intend their words. You guys could leave here right now and say, Mike Birbiglia got on stage and said, Jesus was a Jewish socialist who talks like Woody Allen. Then he said, nice tits, Betsy, which is sexist. Then he said, Stadler and Waldorf are gay, which is homophobic. Then he called his tongue his mouth penis, which is offensive to mouths and penises. Then he made fun of that guy for saying he was arrested by a woman cop. Then he said, Christ has died, Christ is risen, which sounded phenomenal but was also offensive. Then he told cat puns for an hour, which I don't enjoy because I'm humorless. Then he didn't tell one joke about Muslims because he loves ISIS. Then he said, I'm just trying to fucking help you, you cunt! And then he left. And all of that's true. Which is why I'm cautious when I tell jokes on stage, because anything can be taken out of context. People's careers are taken down instantly, and some people are killed. So I'm putting this in your hands. You can choose to leave here and quote me out of context, or you can choose not to. But I trust that you won't, because we're neighbors. And whether you like it or not, we're married. Thank you. Thanks so much for being